This is going to be a really, really good show coming up very, very soon. Let's talk about it. What do we have?
Absolutely. December 9th, Friday night at the Stocky Center in Parry Sound. I'm going to be hosting the show. It is Brent Butt, the star of Corner Gas, is going to be headlining the show. One of Canada's best comedians of all time. It's pretty cool to be asked to be part of the show. And, we're doing like a little northern tour. The night before is up in Timmins, and then we're coming into Parry Sound the next night, so it's going to be a good time. And obviously, if you're looking for something good to do for like a Christmas party or anything like that with your company, this is the place to go. You get a group package of tickets and come out and see Brent Butt. He's killer. And obviously, I'm going to be there looking like this, pretty slick. Bring your wife, treat her to some eye candy.
Yes.
They asked me they're going to try and do a version of The Bachelor in Muskoka, and they asked me to be The Bachelor, but I had to turn it down because I'm married, right? Obviously, taken. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. Hate to break your heart, ladies.
Well, you're breaking my heart, too, and I'm married as well. How did this show kind of come about? I know you just said you were asked, but they talk about what went on behind the scenes there.
Sure. The LOL Sudbury Comedy Festival, they're a great comedy festival out of Sudbury, so it's not just a clever name. Mm-hmm. And they've been around for quite a few years. I think they're 11 years maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And they had me in last year for the festival, and I think I did a pretty good job. So because they asked me to come and host this, I think they like that I have. I can connect to small town audiences pretty good. I'm from Bracebridge, so it's not too hard. It's not too much of a stretch, and then it is a nice compliment with what Brent does. So.
Now, Brent, has he been someone, he's been around for a very long time, just like you, but was he someone that you kind of, or that inspired you to get into this business? How are you feeling? You haven't met him yet.
Yeah, I've never met Brent Butt before, so I'm going to be meeting him at the show. What a treat it's going to be for him, to meet this guy.
Oh, come on.
Well, you know what? He was kind of at the top of the game when I was starting out. So when I started comedy 13 years ago, and he was, I don't know if Corner Gas has happened yet, but he was just like kind of getting into, that was, early on in the Corner Gas stage, I think, that was early in my career. So, he's been at the top of the ladder and done so many things and had such a strong impact across Canada with his comedy. To be able to last as long as you can in Canadian comedy as a stand-up, let alone have a TV show with that much mainstream success in this country, is incredible. You cannot, there's not many people that can even compare to what he's done in this business. So yeah, he's a huge inspiration for, I think, any Canadian comic to aspire to. So yeah, it's going to be kind of cool. Also, I worked in a gas station when I first started doing comedy. But none of my stories made it on Corner Gas. I accidentally set a lady's car on fire once, and
oh my gosh!
yeah. It was her and her kid were in the car, and I pulled them out. No one talks about how I saved their lives. It's just, he started the fire, but whatever. Funnels weren't available back then.
Well, all that nice praise of this man, though, is that going to make you? Is that making you nervous at all when you meet a friend?
No.
Okay.
I've worked with a lot of like bigger comics, and so I don't get nervous around them. They're just people, and they're all. And especially if you're a stand-up too, and he's a stand-up, your chances are you guys have a similar experience. You're gonna have things that you're gonna have in common too. So if you're playing at this level. And you're being asked to be, on these stages, you should feel comfortable being on them.
Has there been anybody that you've ever met, you don't have to name names, that you were just like, I will not work with that person ever again in the comedy circuit? I've always wanted to ask you that, and I remembered.
I'm trying to think. No one celebrity-wise, just like, no-name losers,
Oh, I
see. You know who you are.
Oh my gosh.
You know who you are, Mark.
Alrighty. Well, this is going to be an amazing event. So let's just remind everybody. You had mentioned in the top, but just anybody that's just tuning in right now, when is it? Where is it? Where can people get tickets, and how much are these tickets?
That's a good question. If you go on lolsudbury.com, you should be able to get tickets hooked up there, or the Charles Stocky Center in Parry Sound. I believe they would have them online. They're $38, so.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really reasonable, man. You're going to see one of the best shows. I guarantee it's going to be absolutely awesome.